Hi everybody, welcome to Cooking with Claire. That was not my title choice, but it works. So happy St. Patrick's Day. So today I'm going to be making Guinness Stout chocolate cupcakes, and I will be pairing those with a light cream cheese frosting, and if we get time, I'm going to make a vanilla buttercream as well, so that should be good. The cupcake itself is just really hearty and flavorful, so I don't want to pair it with too heavy of a frosting, just, you know, so it's not too much of an overload of sweetness and calories. So let's get started. The oven, you want to preheat your oven to 350, and you want to get out your cupcake dishes or muffin pans or whatnot. We only have a 6 one. So if anybody from our wedding is watching, we need more of these. So buy them for us. So yeah, you want this recipe makes 24. So you technically want either 4 of these or a big one or whatnot, and we can just. So I'll only be making 6 at a time, but luckily they only take about 13 to 16 minutes to bake. So all right, so you'll see the ingredients here. You need flour, sugar, cocoa powder, salt, baking powder, baking soda, egg, vanilla, these little things to put in the cupcake pan, sugar, and then for the cream cheese frosting, we'll get to that in a minute, and milk. You need milk as well. So this recipe will be up on the website, so you don't have to worry about trying to jot down what you see here, because I'll post a recipe alongside this if I even post this video. So you want to make sure that you have Guinness Stout. This is not an ad for Guinness. It's just you want to get this kind of beer just because it's so thick and heavy. And what I love about Guinness is it has a really nice coffee flavor, like a natural coffee texture and flavor to it. So you kind of get a really good flavor when you bake with it. So I would suggest getting this. If you don't have this where you are, you want to move somewhere that sells it, obviously, because then you're in the middle of nowhere. So you want that. Speaking with this, you don't need this much. You only need about a cup and a half. We didn't know how much to get, so we kind of got the big boy, which means we'll probably drink it later. So to get started, you want to whisk the oil. You're going to have half a cup of oil and then an egg. What I like about this recipe is that there's no butter, and I would definitely prefer using oil over butter. It's just better for you. So aren't these just the cutest darn things you ever did see? I got these from my bridal shower. Thank you, Claire. I think they're so trendy and cute. So yeah, so there's that. And then you want to get the egg. And you want to crack it without putting a shell in there, which is a tricky little thing to do. Alright, and then you want to get your whisk, and you want to whisk it together until it's mixed. Let me move this beer out of my way. Okay. Okay. Now you want it to be really well mixed, but not too much. Just so the egg, this looks about right. So the egg is mixed in there, and it's kind of a thick texture. All right, and then after that, you want to whisk the vanilla, the milk, and the Guinness into this. And you need about let me find it here. Here you go. 2 teaspoons of vanilla. All right, so you want to get your teaspoon things. All right. And I apologize if you hear a whining in the back. It's because we have dogs hiding somewhere in the back. Okay, and then you want to get your milk, which I didn't want to take out until I used it, because then you have cottage cheese. It's kind of gross. So you need 1/4 cup of milk. It's like a little teacup. Okay. So then there's that, and then you need 1 cup and 1/4 of Guinness. So let me open this. Okay. Move this out of the way. Actually. All right. So then you need 1 cup and 1/4 of this. See, as you can tell, if you can see, but it's really incredibly thick beer. It's like pudding, pretty much. If you could smell it, it smells so good. So then you get this, put another fourth in there. Okay, and then once that's in there, you need to whisk this until this is all mixed together. What's good about this recipe too is it's not, I saw a few that just had Guinness and water, and the reviews were pretty unfavorable. They're like, this tastes like a muffin I found on the ground of a bar. So I was like, that's probably not what I want to do here. So this has a nice milk to kind of balance out the alcohol. When you bake with a alcohol, obviously, as you know, when you bake and cook, the alcohol cooks out of it. So you're kind of left with just what the flavor is left in the alcohol. So that's why you want to use kind of a hearty, flavorful beer like Guinness that has a lot of good flavor anyway. So once the alcohol is gone, you're still left with that really good flavor. So when I cook with wine, I use like Chardonnays and wines like that have a really tart, kind of dry flavor, so you're left with that oaky, buttery taste. Okay, so now you'll see here that this is pretty much mixed together. It's going to be a little foamy just because the beer itself had a bunch of foam in it. So that's fine, that'll go away. It's not a super big thing. But you do want to whisk this until it's all mixed together. Okay. So this is looking good here. Alright, so so after this is whisked, you need a very fine mesh strainer. Or if you have a flour sifter, that works too. I don't have one, so this will do. And you want to make sure that you use a bowl for the wet ingredients, that when you put this on there, it doesn't touch the wet ingredients, because that'll mess up the straining process. So get something like this, put it right on top there. And then you want to put in over this your flour, your powders, your salt, and your soda in here. This, okay, and then you'll want to do that. So you don't need to mix it beforehand because it's going to kind of strain into there, and then once you're done, it'll mix. So we need about 2 cups of flour. Looks like I need my other cup measure. Here we go. Seems that I've used the dry for the wet, and I'm using the wet for the dry story of my life. Alright, so we need 2 cups of flour. That's a lot of flour. Okay. As you can see, I'm pretty damn precise about this. So put those in there. And then you want to also put the salt. Get the salt in there. And then you need 1 1/2 teaspoon baking powder. 1 1/2 teaspoon. Okay, you want to put this on top. I know this looks like it won't go right in there, but it will. And then the baking soda, you need 1 teaspoon. And as you'll see, I'm already starting to collect stuff on me. And as you'll see throughout the rest of the show, that I will have half of my body covered in flour, which is a turn on to some, I'm sure. So, anyways, as I continue, okay, to get this in here, you basically just want to do this, kind of strain it into there. This is where a flour sifter is usually better used, because it's just doesn't take as long. But why this is a good method to use is because it mixes all of your yeasts or your flours and your sodas together better than if you just kind of mixed it, because this way it's kind of all mishmashing together. And this kind of gives the cupcakes sort of a fluffier, moister texture, because you're not just like manually mixing and then throwing into the mix. You're kind of making it a little, as you can, I don't know if you can't see this, it's softer in appearance too, which is good. It gives it a nice moist flavor. So once you're done doing this, okay, you want to get it, you kind of want to get it all sifted in there. Okay. So after that's done, you want to add the sugar, and this calls for 2 cups of sugar, which is a lot. It's not quite the healthiest recipe I've ever made, but That's why I'm pairing it with that light icing, so you're not getting too much heavy at one time. So here we go. We've got 1 cup of sugar and another cup of sugar. And then you can whisk this, but this bad boys, I would prefer to use a wooden spoon. And then you just kind of mix it together. Okay. And you can either add the chocolate powder when you are sifting it in, or you can add it after. It doesn't matter as long as it gets in there somehow. So let's mix this all together. And you want to make sure it's not bumpy. It's kind of hard to get sometimes. You don't want too much of a bumpy mix here. So let's get this all stirred together. And then let's get, for the chocolate powder, I like to use the good stuff. Ghirardelli, it's kind of the best you can get. No, I'm just kidding, but I like it a lot. You want to get unsweetened because of how much sugar that this has. If you had sweetened, you would probably just want to use a little bit less. So, it smells like liquor. It's always a good thing in my little kitchen. So we'll mix this. Okay. Oh, look how good that looks. It's a nice cocoa texture. It's like a really pretty nice caramel color. So once you get all those little bubbles and bumps out, you want to add this chocolate powder, 3/4 of a cup. It's a little bit. What I don't like though about chocolate powder is how crumbly it gets. So then you have to kind of worry about getting that out of there too. So hold up. So if you can get those little bumps out beforehand. Let's see if this is. You want to make sure you use the right amount of chocolate because the chocolate, obviously, and the Guinness really pair well together. Okay, so then you want to mix the chocolate in there. Make sure you get all these bumps out, or else you'll have I've made a cupcake before where there was lots of dry bumps in it. When I bit it, it was like flour in my face. It's not really that good. So I've never made these before, so I'm pretty sure they're good, but you know, there's always that question of whether something's good or not based on recipes. That's why I try not to use recipes, or, you know, I get a base recipe and then I kind of add my own flavors to it. You know, I have really weird likes and dislikes, as we all do. You know, I try to cook healthy. I want to be a nutritionist. So usually I take a recipe and kind of change it, but this is a recipe directly from somebody that I found through my blogs. So I didn't want to do too much altering on my own because it's something so different that I've never done before. But it smells amazing, or as my friend Allison would say, amazeballs. It smells freaking good. These in.